Hello everybody, and today is April 2nd, and welcome to Enjoy the Movies, where I now put in my 2 cents about movies. Now, I was thinking about putting something up yesterday. The problem was, yesterday was April Fool's Day, and I was totally going to do some prank, except I was too lazy to come up with one, so as it really turns out, I couldn't really do anything about it. So, needless to say, I'm doing this today instead. Now, a couple of movies that I'd like to talk about. Today, The Good Night, which is a movie that came out, I think, this Tuesday, or yesterday, because today's Wednesday, and The Water Horse, Legend of the Deep, which is a family fantasy movie. And since I didn't have another movie to round out, there's this movie that I watched a long time ago called The Last Mimzy, just to tie it in, only because The Water Horse was like a family movie. So anyway, let's just start with The Good Night. Now, this is a movie. It's a drama movie. It's pretty much just a drama movie. I tried watching it once. It was utterly slow, and I didn't understand what was going on because I wasn't really paying attention. So one of my roommates was like, oh, hey, let's watch this. I'm like, okay. So I gave it a fair shot the second time. And let me just say, The Good Night is a very slow, boring, drawn-out movie. Even watching it a second time totally did not change my perception of how well-paced it was, or ill-paced it was. Now, I understand it's a drama movie, and that's probably how it went on, but I felt that it was way too long for what it was trying to do. It's like an hour and a half. It's not even that long, in all honesty, but it's drags out very slow for that 1 hour and a half. So, anyway, the rough premise of this movie is that there's this guy who is having trouble with his personal life in real life. And what he ends up doing is finding ways to escape to his dreams. So what he's actually doing is going to these meetings where he's learning how to lucid dream and taking like sleeping pills and stuff so that he can stay in his dreams longer, because somehow he can magically find a way to control this I got something in my eye. He has this lucid dreaming fantasy where he can basically control what he sees in his dream, which pretty much all the time is like women. So he sees these attractive women, and he basically creates them in his dreams, and he wants to keep on going back to his dreams and staying in his dreams. And that's pretty much the entire premise of the movie, like all throughout the entire movie. So some points you'll be like, oh hey, he's definitely in there now, and at some points he'll be like, oh man, he's definitely in real life now. I want to say that the movie itself is actually fairly solid. It's very well done for what it is. It's just that pacing is slow. But if you don't mind that, or if you like independent movies, it's very much like one of those. I don't even know if it's independent. There's so many big names in it. There's Penelope Cruz, Gwyneth Paltrow, Danny DeVito, Simon Pegg, if you guys are fans of Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. But anyway, so overall, this movie is pretty good. I actually liked it. I liked it a lot. The problem was, it was slow. The big twist in the movie comes near the end, and you'll know what part I'm talking about if you ever watch that far, but it's all suddenly surprising what happens, and you're totally not expecting it, but anyway. So, very good movie. Definitely recommend. Not necessarily for everybody, because I said it's extremely slow. I can't integrate this enough into my mind that it's a good movie that's very slow. And, anyway. At this point, there's just certain times where I think I should have to revisit some of those movies that I hated because they were slow. So, I mean, the one exception was Constant Gardener. I actually liked that one. Didn't really get into the other ones because they were so slow, but maybe at some point I'll get back to it. Anyway, so let's move along. Next movie I wanted to review was Water Horse, Legend of the Deep. Now, this is a family movie that's a fantasy action drama. I don't even know how to classify it, but it's called The Water Horse. Now, the entire movie pretty much takes place from the perspective of a storyteller telling two tourists about this story about a water horse. And the legend of the water horse is that it's this mythical creature that lives in like Loch Ness, and it's unique, so there's only one of them that can exist at a time, because when one dies, it leaves behind an egg, and that egg will hatch into a new water horse. Now, if you ever saw the trailers, the water horse started out small, and it gets really big, really fast. So that's pretty interesting. And believe it or not, I actually like this movie. The first 1/4 of the movie or so, maybe like the first 20 minutes, very awkward, and I didn't really like it. I don't know why. Maybe it was because of the strange situation or the sheer stupidity of some of the characters. But after that point, the rest of the movie was very good, and I had no problems with anything else. The acting was good, the storytelling was good, the pacing was good. Just in those first like 15-20 minutes, I didn't really like. But anyway, so needless to say, Waterhorse is a very good family movie. Very good if you like, those fantasy movies similar to. Well, I can't really say it's like similar to much, because it's kind of like happening in a real world situation, but with a mythical creature. So, needless to say, Waterhorse, very good. Definitely recommend. That was very good. Except for the first one. So, definitely watch it though. A couple things I do want to say about that. It had a lot of great Irish music in it, and they integrated it very well. So, definitely stood out at some point. I was like, wow, I didn't really notice any music going on, but the entire time there was music going on. Also I wanted to mention about that. One of the tourists that the story is being told to is this woman. Like, I'd never seen her before, but her name's, I guess, Megan Catherine, and I was like, oh, she's kind of attractive. What other movies is she in? I click on her name, and it's the only movie she's been in. And I don't know if this was a huge hit at the box office or anything, but I'm almost tempted to say I really want to see more with her in it, but I'm almost afraid to say that there's probably not going to be much more that she's going to be in, which is unfortunate because I think she's pretty. But anyway, needless to say, oh well. Too bad. Anyway, alright, so last movie I want to talk about today is The Last Mimzy. Now, I didn't really watch too many new movies from last week, and I'm going to pick up some new movies for next week today. And I had to throw one in, so this is one of the movies that I remembered and I had watched a while ago. It's called The Last Mimzy, and pretty much about these two young kids who find this little space doll. Basically, this doll that came from outer space, or interdimensional vortex, or I forget which one it was. I think it was interdimensional vortex. And what ends up happening is this doll pretty much grants them superpowers, and they can use these superpowers to do things, and it's great. But the problem is, they don't know the origin of this thing, they don't know its purpose, and pretty much for the entire movie, it's like a mystery trying to figure out what it, and you find out new things about it. And pretty much the entire movie is very good, up until you get to the end. Like, the ending is very dumb. Like, if they had just made it something else. If you don't want a slight spoiler on this movie, cover your ears right now as I say these next two words. The ending is very hippie. So, anyway, you can open up your ears now, it's okay. But, The Last Mimzy, thought it was very good, very well done. Everything was just solid. I thought it was slightly similar to the Water Horse, whereas, like, that one had a kid finding a water horse. This one had two kids finding a doll with superpowers. I guess it's a little bit similar, but not quite the same. But anyway, Last Mimzy was a very good movie up until the very end, where if they just had a different explanation for everything, it would have been so much better than what it actually was. But needless to say, that was pretty much it. So hopefully that helped out. There wasn't too many big titles coming out, so not that I didn't already review. Pretty much the biggest one that came out this week was, I think, Sweeney Todd. But I think I mentioned that last time. Anyway, needless to say, you guys have fun, enjoy the movies, and see you next time.